Hello all you adorable fluff butts out there. Kitthesoulless here, and yeah, I know. You guys were probably expecting another Frost video, but the little blue dude wants to do something special for his 50th meme video, so that's a thing. But the problem there is, with my limited amount of time, given that I am going back to classes, I am doing the Spooktober streams every single day, and the stress that I've been under recently, I can't necessarily keep up with that particular type of editing job, so you've got something a little bit simpler today. And we will get back to normality, don't worry, but this month always tends to be a bit of a hectic mess. But the upside to all of the chaos and mess is the fact that it gives me a lot of things to talk about, and today's video is honestly no different. You see, dear fluff butts, today I want to talk about the concept of control. Be it self-control, control over others, or control over your environment. And fluffs, I'll level with you, it's been a really weird week. I've had a lot of friends who have wound up stressed out, and a couple who have even wound up suicidal, and in a couple cases I've wanted nothing more than to just reach through the screen and take away their pain, or control what they can feel, or control the world around them to remove that stress for them. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm just one odd little tar. So how? How do I control that? Well, the short and simple of it there is I can't. I can offer suggestions to people in need, or I can put up walls to ensure that the rain doesn't get to me, but at the end of the day, that person is the one that chooses whether to take my advice, and no matter how many walls or roofs you put up, it's still gonna rain when it's gonna rain. And yes, I know, some of you out there are probably going to say, but you can control a person, you can do so by exerting force, you can restrain them, you can give orders. But at the end of the day, this isn't control, it's merely the illusion of control. And while yes, you have the option to exert force and try to gain dominance over another person to control their actions, they also have the option to fight back, and it's not a guarantee that you'll be strong enough to overcome them. And now I know there are probably a couple people out there wondering, well, Kit, why are you talking about this when you could just be off playing with your cock? And yes, I know, it's a lovely cock, isn't it? He's new. I'm honestly thinking of naming him Charlie. And as for why I'm talking about this, it seems like both in our world and in the furry community specifically, it seems there are a lot of people who are willing to try to exert force over others in order to bend them to their will. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, or you don't think it's real, just go on to furry Twitter and say something positive about Donald Trump and see how people react. But bad suggestions aside, if you were to do this, you would probably wind up with a lot of people yelling at you, and those people are trying to exert their will over you. They're trying to control you. But what a lot of them don't realize and don't want you to realize is they have no control over the choices you make. So, who knows? In response, you could cower and obey, or you could walk away, or you might be the type of person that would willingly try to knock out their chiclets. I don't know, and neither do they. Personally, in moments like this, I try to reflect on the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, because, quote, that cucumber is bitter, so toss it out. There are thorns on the path, then keep away. Enough said. Why ponder the existence of nuisance? And for those of you who have no idea what the fuck that meant, it essentially means I try to ignore them, but I'm not perfect, so occasionally I fuck up. And by this point, I know there are probably some people that are going, well, if you can't control anything in the world, then what's the point of living in it? Well, guess what? There is one thing in the world that you, as a person, control, and that's you. You are the only person who can truly choose what you do. And while some people might give you orders, it is your choice whether to obey or defy. It is your choice when to eat. It is your choice when to go to the bathroom, when to go outside, when to sleep. And it's also your choice whether to be angry or to let your emotions have their way with your mind, or to try a more calm and collected approach to whatever you're facing. And since none of these talks would be complete without an example, I'll let you guys know that At some point this week, a friend of mine was showing every sign of being suicidal. They were being distant, they had blacked out their profile picture, they were talking about wanting to be done with life. So I made a choice. Full knowing that I had work the next morning, I stayed up with them into the wee hours of the night, nearly until the sun rose, trying to help them, trying to help figure out what was wrong, and inevitably confront that which was causing them pain. I could have just as easily went, you know what, I have work in the morning, I can't deal with this, I'm going to bed. But I didn't. I chose to stay, and because of that choice, I'd like to think that both me and my friend are a little stronger for it. Oh, and while I won't be naming names, you know who you are, and understand, if you ever get into a situation like that again, I'm going to make the same choice again, and again, and again. Because when it comes to the people I love, I will never make the choice to abandon them. But that's just me being a sappy tar, so this is where we're gonna leave this talk off. But before we do that, I do want to leave one bit of parting thought for anyone who has listened to this and still believes that they have the ability to control others through violence or through threats. And yes, it's yet another quote from Marcus Aurelius, which states, "It isn't manly to be enraged. Rather, gentleness and civility are more human, and therefore manlier. The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." Anyhow, that's it for now, so ta-ta all you adorable fluff butts. Lem.